health, well-being, financial status, relationships, lifestyle and participation in the wider community are all affected by the caring role. Well-being decreases as the number of caring hours increases. On the other hand, when there is a high satisfaction with the leisure life in a carer's life, it is strongly associated with higher carer well-being, as is having strong social and financial support, which is no surprise to any of us. It's the same for us all. The negative health consequences for carers have been consistent themes in health studies, the most recent being the Australian Unity Health and Wellbeing Index in 2007, which clearly showed that carers often become sicker than those they care for. The third common issue which runs through the diversity of carer stories is that there is a huge amount of unpaid, unrecognised and unsupported work going on behind the scenes, a silent workforce to continue the employment metaphor. In fact, in 2005, so that figure the figure I'm about to tell you is now 4 years old, Access Economics prepared a report which found that across Australia, the replacing of unpaid carers with professionals would cost $30.5 billion per year. Now, when I totted up my account before, you know, the million here and the million there, I could wrap my mind around that amount, but certainly not around $30.5 billion. And all that work being done without OH&S, paid annual leave, shift allowances and public holidays, and lousy pay. So there are my three stories, there are my three issues. Now, 3 ways in which we can support carers and then support you. We're funded to support carers across the state. So to this end, we have an information and support line which is a free call number. The carer can ring and speak to a lovely real person who is usually a social worker. Lovely people, social workers in the room, yes. And they are well versed in carer issues. I call it a one-stop shop. It's good for new carers starting out who want to know what supports are available out there, and it's good for carers further along on the journey who want to check in case there's something new. It's also good for the carer who's just received yet another form from Centrelink and they think they will stab someone if they have to fill in another form from Centrelink. I urge them, ring Carers Victoria before you pick up the knife. Secondly, Carers Victoria is funded to provide a free counselling service to carers. You don't need a referral, you just need the number that's on the back of this brochure. We have professional counsellors all over Melbourne and Victoria, so a good match can be made whether you live in Warrnambool or Lakes Entrance or Mildura or just around the corner in Parkville. The funding covers 6 sessions and the aim of the sessions is to help carers explore the issues which are concerning them and to develop strategies to deal with them. We call this program Talking It Over, recognising that so often carers have no one to talk to about their feelings or their problems. Family and friends, through no real fault of their own, often let them down on the ongoing journey that is the carer's journey. And thirdly, Carers Victoria is funded to run free workshops to groups of carers, exploring a range of subjects to do with carer health and wellbeing. We travel all over the countryside, just like the Leyland brothers for those who are old enough to remember, but as I look around, I'm a little depressed to see that not many of you will. I'm on the education team. I'm busting to come to a carers group near you and facilitate a workshop on a myriad of issues that are in this brochure, managing your stress, becoming more assertive, a whole bunch of topics, grief and loss. This is our 2008 brochure, the 2009 brochure. Next year's will look very similar. So membership of Carers Victoria is free, and I've left our current newsletter there, and there's a range of other services which I haven't mentioned. So there are my 3 stories, my 3 issues, the 3 ways in which we'd like to support carers, and now the most important part, how we would like to support you in your very valuable work. Firstly, we invite you to handball carers to us. We know that of necessity you're focused on the person, often, who has the illness. We want to free you up to do that job. Given that carers so often don't identify as such, they will take note if a professional like you lets them know about those supports I've just mentioned. They're just one phone call away. I've bought a stack of these little cards, which are flat pack, on the back table. Please take a bundle with you and pull them out of your pocket at the appropriate time and pass them on. If you need more, call Carers Vic and we'll post them out to you. Secondly, we have professional education to help you and your team work on a particular issue that is carer related. For example, working with difficult families, although I suspect no one in this room has ever had that experience. A workshop can be tailored to suit your team's needs. I've put the brochures on the back. Again, we travel all over the countryside to do that. We're very happy to come to anywhere where you are. And thirdly, Carers Victoria has a very strong policy team. They welcome input from carers and professionals. So if there's a carer-related, general kind of systemic issue that concerns you, don't lose sleep stewing over it at night. Please call CVIC and talk to someone on the policy team. The issue you raise will probably be echoed by other people around the state. And the more voices we have expressing concern, the stronger our case in making submissions to government. So there are my 3 stories, my 3 issues, my 3 ways we want to support carers, and the 3 ways in which we'd love to support you. So let me finish with a quote from a carer. When I finally plucked up the courage to ring the support line, I spoke to someone who asked me how I was. It was the first time in a long time someone had asked me that. They always ask how my husband is. I didn't realise how run down I had become. I wish I had known about the help that is available when my husband first became ill. My advice to any carer is, you're not alone. The help is out there. Thank you. Hello, Joe. Yes. Yes, I personally won't. There's 2 members of the team who are the professional educators. I could come and tell you about our services, but to facilitate the professional workshop, and I go to the carers groups. But ring Carers Vic and talk to someone in the education and training section, which we're all part of, and you will be...
And what about a day centre with only neuro patients?
Yep, to the carers. To the carers. If we come and do a workshop for carers, our 2 requirements are that you can get about 6 people as a minimum, because a workshop is necessarily an interactive event, and that the carers are not there with the person that they care for. Carers will never speak if the person they care for is sitting next to them. So we always see them separately. We've got a great arrangement going with Parkinson's where we go on the road together. Well, it's not as cosy as that implies, actually. And we'll tag along behind Catherine, for example, and at some stage in the proceedings, Catherine will speak just to the people with Parkinson's, and I'll go off with the carers and have a workshop with them. It does work well. Thank you.